Can announce it. Okay. Hare Krishna, welcome to Bhakti Sangha Japa conference call. Today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Keshavi Anand Prabhuji to enlighten us on topic Srimad Bhagavatam 4th canto 30th chapter 36th verse onwards. Mataji, please take over for reading the verse. Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Please take over, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Who is going to read, Mataji? Okay.
I can volunteer. I can read the Sanskrit. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 4, Chapter 30, and text number 36. यत्र नारायणः साक्षात् भगवान्यासिना गतिः संस्तूयते सत्कथासु मुक्तसङ्गे पुनः पुनः.
I can read, Mataji, translation and purport. Translation: The Supreme Lord Narayana is present among devotees who are engaged in hearing and chanting the holy name of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Lord Narayana is the ultimate goal of sannyasis, those in renounced order of life, and Narayana is worshipped through this Sankirtana movement by those who are liberated from material contamination. Indeed, they recite the holy name again and again. Purport: The Mayavadi sannyasis are missing the real presence of Narayana. This is because they falsely claim to be Narayana himself. According to the customary etiquette of Mayavadi sannyasi, they address another as Narayana. To say that everyone is a temple of Narayana is correct, but to accept another human being as Narayana is a great offense. The conception of Daridra Narayana, Poor Narayana, and attempt to identify the poor with Narayana is also a great offense. Even to identify Narayana with a demigod like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva is an offense. Mataji, can you go down, Mataji?
Yeah, you read the verse.
Or you want to read, Mataji?
No, you can. If you want to read, you can read. Otherwise, I won't.
You read, Mataji, please. I don't want to make mistakes.
यस्तु नारायणं देवं ब्रह्मा रुद्रादि दैवतं समात्वेनैव वीक्षेत स प्रासन्दी भावे ध्रुवम्.
One who considers Lord Narayana on a level with great demigods like Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva is immediately listed among non-believers. The fact is that by performing Sankirtana Yagna, one can immediately place the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then Narayana himself descends and immediately is present. In this Kali Yuga, Narayana is immediately present in the form of Lord Chaitanya. Considering Lord Chaitanya, Srimad Bhagavatam 11.5.32. Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sangopangastra Prashadam Yagne Sankirtana Praye Yajante Sumedha. In the Kali Yuga, in the age of Kali, intelligent person performs congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the name of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by the associate servants, weapons, and confidential companions. After all, a human life is meant for pleasing Narayana, and this can easily be done by performing Sankirtana Yagna. Whenever there is a congregational chanting of holy name of the Lord, Gaura, Narayana, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, his incarnation as Lord Chaitanya immediately appears and is worshipped by Sankirtana Yagna. In this verse, it is stated that Narayana, what is this word, Mataji? Can anybody read this word?
Nashinam Gati.
Nashanam Gatihi. The ultimate goal of sannyas sannyasi. The goal of those who have renounced the material world is attainment of Narayana. A Vaishnava sannyasi therefore dedicated his life to serving Narayana. It does not falsely claim to be Narayana. Instead of becoming yeah, non-envious to other living entity, one who tries to become Narayana becomes envious to the Supreme Lord. Therefore, I missed the line. Therefore, the attempt to become Narayana constitutes the great offense. Actually, when one chants or discusses the transcendental activities of the Lord, he immediately becomes non-envious. In this material world, everyone is envious of everyone else. But by vibrating or discussing the holy name of the Lord, one becomes non-envious and devoid of material hankering. Because of our envious of the supreme personality of Godhead, we become envious of all other living entities. When we are no longer envious of the supreme personality of Godhead, there will be a real peace, unity, and fraternity in the human society. Without Narayana or Sankirtana Yagna, there cannot be peace in this material world. Thus, the end of the Bhakti Vedanta purport of 4.30.36. Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji,
Yeah.
please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji, for joining and giving your valuable association and time this morning. Please take over the call, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Okay. Is my voice audible to everybody?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Okay, so we are going to discuss 4th canto, 30th chapter, and 36th verse. Let me just do this. Otherwise, it'll just go out. Okay. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Yatra Narayana Sakshat. 4th canto and 30th chapter and 36th verse. Yatra Narayana Sakshat. Yeah, it's here. Yeah, okay, fine. Sakshat Bhagavan Nyasinam Gatihi Samstuyate Satkathasau Mukta Sangai Puna Puna. Okay, yeah, this is the point. So, translation purport we have read there. I don't think so. I have to read it again. I'll just begin by offering obeisances. Soma Gyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuru Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaurvani Pracharine Vishesh Shunyavadi Paschatishta. Okay, so we are discussing 4.30.36, very not very often recited verse, but very important in its own uh, own existence. Of course, every verse of Bhagavatam is important, but some verses are more important than other verses. Why? Because some verses might be important from preaching perspective, which Prabhupada often used to quote. Some verses might be very important from rasa perspective. Some verses might be very important from prema perspective. So in that sense, this verse is very important from the perspective of fighting with Mayavadis, from preaching perspective. And Prabhupada dedicates the whole purport from preaching perspective. There might be other perspectives which we'll talk now in shortly, but the most important point which Prabhupada is bringing of Mayavadis in the purport. Now this verse is refuting Mayavad. Before I come to this point, one point is very important. You see, when I think Tamal Krishna Maharaj and Hamsadut and all these people in initial days of ISKCON when Prabhupada was there, they actually when they read Prabhupada's Bhagavad Gita, they used to think. In fact, Harishari Prabhu is mentioning his Harishari diary, and Tamal Krishna Maharaj also. They used to think that why Srila Prabhupada is dedicating the entire purport to Mayavadis. You see in Bhagavad Gita, you see in Bhagavatam, again and again this term Mayavadi is coming. Again and again Prabhupada is bringing this point. We are not Narayana, we are not God. He's emphasizing, and they used to think why Prabhupada is doing so much, is harping this point. But when they went to India with Srila Prabhupada, Kirtanand Maharaj and all these big sannyasis, they went to India with Srila Prabhupada. Then they understood the relevance of Prabhupada's purport, because in India, every sannyasi is Mayavadi sannyasi practically. Every sannyasi is Mayavadi sannyasi. Now this is, and of course, now if you see in the entire world, every sannyasi is a Mayavadi sannyasi in one form or the other. Buddhism is the largest religion. I think Buddhism is so Buddhism is actually one of the fastest growing religion in the entire Western world. And what's it all about? It's all about Mayavad. Or maybe let's talk science. What science? Science is Mayavad in one sense, because the aim of science is to understand everything in the entire universe and become the supreme. That's basically Mayavad. That's all. There's no supreme. I am the supreme. Science is supreme, so we scientists are supreme. In that sense, it's Mayavad. Or maybe everything is illusion. Quantum physics says everything is illusion. Everything is not existing and existing. All these concepts are of Mayavad. In fact, if you go in science, but I'm not going there. You don't need to discuss all these in the present class. What this verse is saying, how it is refuting Mayavad, let's think about it. Srila Prabhupada is mentioning in this verse, but what's happening? This verse is saying, Yatra Narayana Sakshat, Bhagavan Nyasinam Gati. Now this verse is saying that Narayan is Sakshat Bhagavan. Now, this is very important. It is very important terminology. Sakshat Bhagavan. I think so. Srila Prabhupada might be mentioning. Prabhupada is not mentioning much on this point, but Prabhupada is mentioning in English that Narayan is Sakshat Bhagavan. Now why it is now why they are saying Sakshat Bhagavan? Why they are not saying Bhagavan? Narayan is Bhagavan. Why they have to add this adjective Sakshat? Now this is a point of consideration. Sakshat means directly. Bhagavan is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Why they say Sakshat Bhagavan? So that's a point which Prabhupada is mentioning. Is actually bringing in his purport. He's saying actually Narayan is directly God. That means nobody becomes God. That's the idea. You cannot become God by any practice. There is no indirect process of becoming God, because God is God. It's Sakshat Bhagavan. Sakshat means self-manifested God. He never became God at a particular point of time. And that's a definition of God, by the way. Srila Prabhupada says, you don't become God. Prabhupada says, Krishna. That's why Krishna actually killed Putna when he was 3 months old. 3 months baby, he's killing Putna. Then Shaktashur, then Trinavarth, then Govardhan, 7 years of age. So he didn't become Bhagavan by any sadhana, as yogis say. You see, many people will say, Krishna, yeah, he was a Mahapurush. Ram was a Mahapurush. Then what about the history? How a 3 months old child can kill Putna? If they were Mahapurush, they would have some sadhana and become Mahapurush. And in fact, even Mahapurush cannot do such kind of things, what Krishna is doing. Krishna showed he's God. He showed he's God. That's the implication of Sakshat. If you think about this word Sakshat, it's coming in Srimad Bhagavatam 1st canto. What's that? Etecham sakala pumsha Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Loke Mridyanti Yoge. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Swayam and Sakshat, it's the same word there. So there Sukdev Goswami says, Etecham sakala pumsha. All these incarnations which I have listed, I've just spoken, 24 incarnations, whatever I've spoken about God. Among all these are all amsha. or kala. Ete cha amsha. Amsha means they are all part and parcels of that supreme. Or kala. Kala means means part of part and parcel. Parts of parts. Amsha means part. Kala means parts of parts. So these are all some expansions of Ete Chamsa Kalapamsa Krishna. They are all expansions of Krishna. And who is Krishna, by the way? Bhagavan. But then Sukadeva Goswami says Bhagavan Swayam. He had to add that word Swayam after Bhagavan, as if it was not enough to say Krishna's to Bhagavan. Simple, finished. He's Bhagavan. But no, he had to add that word Swayam because he had to put this point. He is Bhagavan. Many other people call themselves Bhagavan, but this is different category of Bhagavan. This is Swayam. It is self-manifested God. He has not become God. He is God, returned from eternity. Now you might counter argue here that well, this is also funny. If you don't become God, and if you say God is eternal, then why God is eternal? That's the question. God is God. You don't become God. Okay, God is God. But then that is your assumption. God is God. This is not a good. I mean to say. I mean to say. So somebody can say, what's the logic behind this? So what's the logic behind your statement that Krishna is God? What's the logic? Well, we don't have logic. That's the whole idea. Krishna's to Bhagavan Swayam. Swayam in Sanskrit means, just keep it there, that's all. Swayam in Sanskrit means um, self-manifested. That's the whole idea. Self-manifested. Self-manifested means Swayam, or just like Brahmaji, we say Swayam Bhu. So in self-manifested, you don't require, or actually better word is self-evident. Actually, not self-manifested. Brahma is self-manifested. Swayam Bhu. Bhu means manifest. Swayam means Swayam. Self. Swayam is Swayam. Bhu means manifested. But Krishna is self-evident. There are certain things in this material world, in this universe, which are self-evident. You don't need a praman for that. This word Sakshat and Swayam is the same thing. Directly or Swayam. Now, these are very Sanskrit technical words. These are not literal English Sanskrit words, ordinary Sanskrit words. So self-evident means that those things which do not need praman, they are like that. And you have to accept it. So for example, suppose sugar is sweet. Now the sweetness of sugar is self-evident. Now somebody might ask us, why sugar is sweet? What's the logic? There's no logic. What is a scriptural proof, praman, shabda praman of sugar is sweet? There is no praman, because why to give a praman of something which you can taste? Just put it in your mouth, it's sweet, that's all, finish. Self-evident. Or you feel hunger. What's hunger? Do you need some logic to prove that you're hungry? Or do you need some kind of scriptural evidence, shloka, that I am feeling hungry? No, you're feeling hungry and you feel that, and you feel I am feeling hungry, and you're absolutely sure you're feeling hungry, not in a doubt. That's self-evident fact. This is called as sakshad. In fact, this word is coming from Madhva Sampradaya, where the technical term is a sakshi. Sakshi means sakshi in like court, they say I'm sakshi. Sakshi in English, what do you say? Witness? Yeah, witness. So somebody does some murder, and then what? Who's a witness? Okay, he's a witness. So witness is called sakshi. Or you see beat bag. There's no beat bag. I don't have beat bag now. But in beat bag you have. Oh, I have this beat bag. So in beat bag you have this counter. Everybody knows that counter, isn't it? This thing. This thing is called beads. And now this is called chanting beads, mala, but this is also beads. But this is called sakshi, and this is called mala. It's called sakshi. Why sakshi? Because it is a witness how many rounds I am doing. So it's called sakshi. And by the way, I just remember Mahaprabhu didn't used to tie this on his bead bag. Mahaprabhu used to tie this sakshi on his waist here, somewhere here in the waist, in this dhoti, and it was there. Mahaprabhu used to chant Hare Krishna, and then he used to count on fingers, one mantra, two, three, four, five, six, and whole round used to become, and then he used to put one beat down like that. He used to chant. It's Rupa Goswami. He has written a song in Stavamala. Rupa Goswami has written Chaitanya Ashtakam, 8 verses for glorification of the Lord Chaitanya in his famous book Stavamala. It's very famous. Stava means prayers, mala means chain, a garland of prayers. And in that, the first 3 songs are called praising Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Ashtakam 1, Chaitanya Ashtakam 2, Chaitanya Ashtakam 3. And then, as if he was about to write Chaitanya Ashtakam 4, but he said, well, then the whole book will be full of Lord Chaitanya. But this book is dedicated to glories of Krishna and Radha. So he just stopped there. In that Chaitanya Ashtakam, he is mentioning how Mahaprabhu used to chant. And he's saying, Mahaprabhu used to count on fingers, and he used to have this sakshi on his waist. Of course, we don't have to do like that. It's crazy. But the whole idea, I'm bringing this concept of sakshi. Sakshi means witness. Now, witness, if you have a witness, then you don't need anything else. Am I right? If you do some murder and there's a witness, it's proved. I saw that and finished. Case is over, and he's to be judged, and he's in the prison. That's important of sakshi. So this from sakshi comes the word sakshad. Who is a witness that Narayan is God? Krishna is God. Krishnastu Bhagavan. Krishna is Bhagavan. Who is a witness of this? Swayam. He himself is a witness that he's God. That's called as self-evident. Who is a witness that I am experiencing hunger? I myself am the witness that I am having hunger. That is why hunger is self-evident. That's the word sakshat here. Directly. Narayan is God directly. There is no indirect confirmation of Narayan through any pramanas. Neither pratyaksh, neither Hanuman, neither Shabd. We don't need any praman to say Narayan is God. Narayan is God, and he's God whether you agree or whether you don't. Whether you have read scriptures, whether you have not read scriptures, Narayan is God. His being God doesn't depend on any proof or evidence or praman. That's why it says Yatra Narayana Sakshat. And that's why Prabhupada is mentioning in the purport, these crazy rascal Mayavadis, they claim themselves falsely to be Narayan, and that's wrong. They have to claim themselves as if they're Narayan. But Narayan doesn't have to claim himself, he's Narayan. He's God. That's all. So that's why it says Yatra Narayana. In fact, if you see the point, one point just by the way, footnotes to what I'm saying. Bhagavatam, you see these words in Bhagavatam, they might seem very ordinary, but every word is having a very technical sense and a very let's say a very rhetorical sense there, and a very philosophical depth in every word. That's why Mahaprabhu said, Charvan karite karite hoy rasasvadan. He says, you again and again and dwell on the words of Bhagavatam, and then you will go in the depths of truth. Of course, in the association of devotees, otherwise we might not be able to access that depth. Now, many of you might have thought Sakshad is a very simple word directly. Okay, miss it, but no, that's not the point there. So what this word says, Yatra Narayana. You see, so by the word, the point I'm saying, by using the word Sakshad, Prabhupada is countering Mayavad, because Mayavad says you can become God. But this line says, God is God, Sakshat. He is God. You cannot become God. And why do we say He's God? Because His being God doesn't depend on any other Brahman. It's self-evident. Swayam, Bhagavan Sakshat, Narayana Sakshat. The word Narayan itself, by the way, just a point here. The name Narayan, why this verse is using the word Narayan? Why not Krishna? Now that's quite like Sukadeva Goswami would have said, Yatra Krishna Sakshat, Yatra Hari Sakshat. I mean to say in other verses, he has used this. Hey, what's that verse? What's that? Bhagavan Ishvaro Hari, Shrotavya Kirtevya Smartavascha Bhakvarnanam. Bhagavan Ishvaro, what's that? I was just forgetting the beginning of that verse. Iti nirnitam Bhagavan Ishvaro. Anyway, whatever it is. Bhagavan Ishvaro Hari, there Sukadeva Goswami uses the word Hari. And sometimes he uses Krishna to Bhagavan Swayam. Or maybe in the 10th canto he uses Purna Brahma Sanatanam. Krishna Krishna Mahabhaho Purna Brahma Sanatanam. Here he directly uses the word Krishna. Or in, for example, in Rishabh Dev, Stuti, Rishabh Dev, he's instructing Bharat Maharaj, and Rishabh Dev is saying, Mai Vasudeva. He's saying, when you develop love for my dear Lord, whose name is Vasudev, there he's using the word Vasudev. So why they are using the word Narayan here? Now this is very important because Sukadeva Goswami's intention is to defeat Mayavad. One of the intention, and that's why the purport is like that. Prabhupada is taking the topic of Mayavad. Now Mayavadis are saying Narayan. They actually use the word Narayan. If you go to any Mayavadi ashram, they will say Namo Narayana to each other. Either he's Narayana and you're Narayana. So that's why Sukadeva Goswami knows, of course he knows that Mayavadis use the word Narayana and they want to become Narayana. In fact, Shankaracharya, now here's the point. Shankaracharya, when he writes commentary to Vedanta Sutra, he actually begins by saluting Narayana. He says, and Prabhupada sometimes quotes that, Narayana Paramaksharat. He says, he uses the word Narayana there. So, the Mayavadis are quite fanatic when the word Narayana comes. So Sukadeva Goswami knows that, and he uses the word Yatra Narayana Sakshat. He just finishes Mayavad in 3 words. Yatra Narayana Sakshat. Finish. That's all. If you think you are Narayan, if you think you can become Narayan, nonsense, because Narayana Sakshat is directly God. That's all. Finish. And then he says, Bhagavan Nyasi Nam Gati. Prabhupada mentions in the purport what this word means, Nyasi Nam Gati. Now, Mayavadis say that when you become sannyasi, then you become Narayan. In fact, actually, when Mahaprabhu went to Jagannath Puri for first time after taking sannyas, and he landed up in Sir Sarong Bhattacharya's house. And there Sarong Bhattacharya, he said to Mahaprabhu, because you're sannyasi, so he said Namo Narayana. Mahaprabhu didn't answer him. Mahaprabhu says, Krishna Matarastu. Let your mind be fixed on Krishna. So he didn't understand what's happening. Because according to Mayavadis, when you take sannyas, you become Narayana. In fact, when you become Narayana, then you take sannyas. When you get the realization, I am Narayana, then you are fit for sannyas. That is sannyasi according to Shankaracharya. So that's why Sukadeva Goswami is countering this point. Nyasi Nam Gati. Nyasi means sannyasi. The Gati means goal. The goal of sannyasi is to do devotion to Narayan. The goal of sannyasi is Narayan. The goal of sannyasi is not to become Narayan. Sannyas is not to become Narayan. Sannyas is to fix a mind on Narayan. Gati here means the ultimate goal. Prabhupada translates. What does Prabhupada says in the purport Nyasinam Gati? Prabhupada says here, yeah, is attainment of Narayan. Dedicates his life to serving Narayan. That's what Prabhupada writes here. So that's why he uses the word Nyasinam Gati. Gati means destination. Gati means goal. Gati also means my master whom I will serve. My Gati. Gati also means master in Sanskrit. Just like Srimati Radharani will say, my Gati is Krishna. I live for him, I die for him. That's the meaning of Gati. So that's sannyasi. He lives for Narayan, he dies for Narayan. But he doesn't become Narayan. And that's why by this using this word Nyasi Nam Gati, Sukadeva Goswami is countering Maya. He's refuting Maya. It's not that when you become Narayan, then you take sannyas. Or sannyas is meant to become Narayan, whatever it is. But either way around. Nyasinam Gatir Bharta Prabhu Sakshi Nivasa Suhit Sharanam. Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, I am Gati, I am Bharta. Oh, actually, Arjuna is praying to Krishna. He's saying, you are Gati, you are Bharta, you are Prabhu, you are Sakshi, Nivas, you are Sharanam, you are Suhit, you are the most, you are the goal, you are the maintainer, you are the master, you are the witness, you are the shelter of everyone, you're the best friend of everybody. Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu. You know, past, present, future. Arjuna praises him, Krishna like that. So, and that is what Sudhir Goswami is mentioning, Asinam Gati. And then he says, Samstuyate Satkathasu. So, Sudhir Goswami is actually bringing another point, and he's saying that Mukta Sangai, that those who are liberated by mentioning this fact. In fact, actually Mayavadis say that it's not that after sannyas we become Narayan. It's that after liberation we become Narayan. Sannyas is taken to fulfill the aim of liberation. After liberation we become Narayan. So he says no. Mukta sangai punavana. People who are liberated, mukta. People who are liberated, even they, samstuyate satkathasu, even they glorify Narayan. Even after liberation, you don't become God. Or to talk of conditioned state. And 15th chapter brings up this very point in a very explicit way. If you read 15th chapter, I think 17, 18th verse or whatever, 16, 17, 18, some 16, 17, 18th verse out of them, Krishna says, Devamau Purusho Loke Sharas Sakshareva Shara Sarvani Bhutani Aksharad Kutastam Aksharad Uchyate Aksharad Api Chattama Paramatmeti Udarita. Krishna says there are two type of people. One is Akshar, Shar means conditioned. Another is Akshar, Akshar means liberated souls. Even beyond Aksharadapi Chattama, even beyond liberated souls, there is me in form of super soul and Purushottam in form of God. And you see 15 chapter 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Actually 16, 17, 18. These three verses, in fact 19, 20, these five verses are very dear to Madhvacharya. And actually Madhvacharya has written a small book which is called as Mayavad Dushana Nirnay. And he has finished Mayavad just by these four verses of Gita. If later after this lecture, you can have a look at those verses. 15 chapter, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. 5 verses. 5 verses of Gita. Yeah, actually, this is you see 16. Dvaimau Purushau Loke Sharasakshare Shara Sarvani Bhutani Kutasam Aksharochate. Translation, you see, there are two classes of beings, the fallible, infallible. Fallible means conditioned, infallible means liberated. In material world, every living entity is fallible, yeah. In spiritual world, every living entity is called infallible, that is liberated. And then see 17th verse, beautiful verse. Uttama Purushastvanne Paramatmeti Udayarta Yolokatra Mahavisha Vivarti Avyashvara. Besides these two, this is very important. Besides these two, conditioned and liberated, there is a greatest living personality, the Supreme Soul, imperishable Lord Himself, who has entered the three worlds and is maintaining them. Clear, you see this clear? Besides these two liberated souls. And then 18th verse he says, Yasmad aksharam tito ham aksharachapi uttama. Atosmi loke vetecha prasita pushottama. Because I am transcendental beyond both the fallible and infallible. Very clear. Krishna doesn't confuse. Krishna doesn't say, maybe this like that. Maybe after liberation you become like God. He says, no. Because I'm transcendental. Liberated souls are not nowhere near to my greatness. I am the greatest. I am celebrated both in the word and in the Vedas as supreme person. And 19th verse, then he says, Yo mame mama samuro janati purushottam sarvid bhashtimam sarvabhavena bharata. Whoever knows me as supreme personality of Godhead without doubting, you see, without doubting, asamuro is knower of everything, and he therefore engages himself in full devotional service to me, O son of Bharat. And then 20th verse, he summarizes, Iti guyatamam shastramidam uktamaya etam buddha buddhiman sat kirtakatishya bharata. That is the most confidential part of Vedic scriptures, O sinless. You see, most confidential part of Vedic scriptures. So it's not really a surprise that Mayavadis are confused that after liberation will become God. Because Krishna says this is the most confidential part. If a person who is not devoted to me, he will never understand me. Oh, actually, where is that verse? It is gone. Can we put that again? Yeah, it's the most confidential part. It is disclosed now by me. You see, so Krishna is admitting here that this point that I am God and nobody can become God even after liberation. It is not. It is very secret. Most people, 99% people, will think after liberation I'll become God, as Mayavadis do. Disclosed now by me, whoever understands this will become wise and his endeavors will know perfection. See, beautiful verses. So, yeah, I think you can just remember this. So you go and learn these verses. If you now Mayavadis have no answer to these 5 verses, no answer. If you meet any Mayavadi, just quote these 5 verses and ask them, do you have any answer to this at least? Or you say this is wrong, Gita? Now they'll be caught. It's extremely clear. Even in Sanskrit, you can't actually fiddle with Sanskrit so much in these verses and twist the meaning. It's very clear, and that's the whole point there. Uh, Mukta sangai samstuyate. Even liberated souls, samstuyate. Even they praise Narayan. And that famous verse, when with Sir Sauram Bhattacharya, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was having a discussion, and then Sauram Bhattacharya was teaching Vedanta Sutra to Mahaprabhu. Sauram Bhattacharya said to Mahaprabhu that, see, you are a very young fellow, just 24 years old, and you're so beautiful, so handsome, and you have taken sannyas too early, and you even don't know any shastras, you're simply dancing and chanting. You seems to be some sentimental fellow, and I can see your future. You'll fall down like that. Bhattacharya is saying to Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu was laughing, smiling within himself. And then Bhattacharya says, okay, I'll do a favor to you. I will teach you Vedanta Sutra. And then Mahaprabhu says, okay. So Mahaprabhu heard Vedanta Sutra for 7 days or 9 days, something, continuously. He didn't speak even a single word. And after whatever days, Swaram Bhattacharya said, see, I discussed whole Vedanta Sutra. You even didn't say yes or no. You were simply staring my face. That's all. Did you understand anything? Are you a fool? Mahaprabhu says, well, I'm not a fool. I understood everything what you said. But I didn't respond because everything what you said was utter nonsense and garbage. So what are you talking? I am the I am the most wise person in entire India as far as Nyaya goes. I am the minister of Pratap Rudra. Everybody actually praises me, my scholarliness, and here you are saying it's utter nonsense. You are today's kid, and you talk to me like that. Then Mahaprabhu said, Sarvabhaum, didn't you hear from Bhagavatam? Atma Ramascha Munyo Nirgranthya Purukrame Kurvantya Hitukim Bhaktim Itham Bhuto Gunohari. Even Atmaram, even those who are enjoying in their soul, who are liberated souls, Mukta Sangai, who are Mukta, they also Chamunyo Nirgranthya Purukrame Kurvantya Hitukim Bhaktim, they also do bhakti to Krishna. Kurvantya Hitukim Bhaktim Itham Bhuto Guno Hari. They also praise the qualities of Hari. They also attracted by qualities of Hari. He told, see, you didn't read Bhagavatam properly, you didn't do your homework properly. Sambhadacharya had no answer, no answer. And then Mahaprabhu gave, I think I don't know how many, some 69 or how many, 90 explanations, something like that, of Atmaram verse. Something, so many different interpretations of Atmaram verse. So that's about Mukta Sangai. Mukta. Even liberated souls, what they do, some stuyate, they glorify Lord Hari. Some stuyate Satkathasu, and they discuss about Narayan, his form, his name, his qualities. In fact, that is devotion. Tatam smartyo Vishnu, vismrityo najatu chit, always remember Vishnu, Krishna, Narayan, never to forget him. That's what they say. Bhagavad Gita says, was it Machit Gatmataka Prana, Machit Matgata Prana, Bodhihanta Parasparam. They always talk about Krishna, Bodhihanta Parasparam, some Satkathasu, Kathyantascha Mam Nityam. They are always talking about me, some Stuyate, Tushyanti Charamanti, and that way they are satisfied and very happy within themselves. And you see, that's a practice of devotion. I was asking the other day, what's the most powerful technique in Krishna consciousness to advance? What's the most powerful? There's so many powerful things. What Chaitanya Chamrita says there, um, भक्त पाद धूलि और भक्त पाद जल भक्त भुक्त अवशेष तीन महाबल. The three powerful things in devotion: the dust of lotus feet of devotees, the water washed charnamrit, water washed from their feet, and Mahaprasad, the food they have left. If you honor them, then teen Mahabal, these are most powerful things. Yeah, these are most powerful. But chanting is the most powerful thing. What's the most powerful technique in devotion to advance? The most powerful of all. The most powerful of all is always remember Krishna, never to forget him. Now this might seem simple. You might think, well, I've heard a lot of times, but it might not have clicked to you. We don't remember Krishna. That's the whole point. In the sense, we don't remember his qualities, his form, his pastimes. I mean to say, just tell me the last time you all remembered his qualities and pastimes. Now, I'm not talking about that you are discussing on conference call and reading Krishna book daily, one chapter or something. I'm talking about, did you remember Krishna's qualities spontaneously somewhere while walking on a road or while cooking, while taking bath? We don't do generally. We are mostly occupied in what I have to do in preaching or what I have to do in service. But as far as direct direct form qualities and pastimes, we don't generally think about that. Sometimes we read about that. That's not bad. Reading and discussing on conference call, that's not bad. But that's not either a spontaneous activity from within your soul. That's what we are looking for. That's the whole idea. Where you can remember Krishna and his qualities, pastimes from within you. Just like there's the inspiration from within you. Oh, Krishna is so handsome. Yes, that's what I was trying to look for in my entire life. I wanted to arrive to this conclusion that he is the most handsome person in the entire universe. That should come from his soul, from deep within your soul. That doesn't happen because we are not sufficiently discussing about him. We are discussing about his service. We're discussing about preaching, but we're not discussing about him. Now, I'm not saying you don't discuss, but keep a track on that, because generally it doesn't happen. We are occupied in so many other things in devotion. That's important, that's necessary, but but in that process, this activity of remembering his qualities and pastimes should not be neglected. In fact, when I came to America many years back, so I started so actually I started a WhatsApp group. Simply remember Krishna. Still going on. Some people are responding there. Simply remember Krishna, and they are the Matajis who have joined, or whoever it is, Prabhujis. Um, we discuss about his qualities of Krishna, direct, his turban, his eyes, his legs, his belt. That's a very good exercise. In fact, that's what you have to do with full energy, full passion, with full focus. Just glorify Krishna. Externally by preaching, internally by direct glorification within your mind. Both things should go on. Which Mahaprabhu showed like that. Chaitanya Charitamrita says, in the daytime Mahaprabhu was preaching prachar, in the night time he was doing rasaswada behind the closed doors. Behind the closed doors. Why behind the closed doors? Because because of course one thing was that he was discussing very deep topics which should not be put out in public. But another sense, Mahaprabhu is saying behind the closed doors, that means you remember Krishna within yourself. It's your private affair. Remembering his qualities and pastimes. Externally, don't do that. Externally, you preach about philosophy. That's what he was showing, and that's very important. We generally lack that, and that's why our mind is completely bonkers and crazy, and then you can advance. So keep a track on that. How much time you remember Krishna, his qualities, pastimes, and forms. That's what liberated souls are doing. Even that's the end, and that's the means. Both end and the means. That is what we have to do. In fact, the whole process of Krishna consciousness is simply to do that. To actually remember Krishna within your mind, his pastimes, qualities, and externally preaching about philosophy of Krishna. Some people also externally start discussing about his qualities, forms, and pastimes. Those are sahijas. On the other hand, people are not remembering about his qualities, pastimes. They're simply reading Krishna book for 15 minutes as if some mechanical process, and they just leave it. And within their externally they're preaching, within the mind also they are always calculating how to preach and how to do this service, that service. That's not that is not bad. That is required, of course. But a certain section of a mind, of our heart, should be solely dedicated to think about form, qualities, and pastimes of Krishna. That's what I'm saying. Focus should not just be preaching. Focus should be Krishna, direct Krishna. That's also there. And that's your private affair. Keep this in mind. Don't bring it in public. Sumstuyate satkathasu matsangai puna puna, again and again. That's what Chaitanya Charitamrita says. Charvan karite hoy rasasvadan. What's that? What's that Bhagavatam says for bhogis? What's that verse? That sugar cane they chew again and again. That's forgetting. Sugar cane, chew again and again. Yeah, they keep on chewing the sugar cane in the hope that there'll be some nectar. But then if you again and again chew, the nectar is not there. I'm just forgetting the Sanskrit verse. Very famous.
Punas Charvita Charvanana.
Oh yeah. Thank you for that. Punas punas charvita charvananam. Now that is very important. You see punas charvita charvananam. Here also punas mukta sangai punas. Same rule applies here. What these bhogis are doing? Punas charvita charvananam. Now mark this word charvita charvananam. Now from this word charvita charvananam, uh, Sukadeva Goswami is purposely using this word charvita charvananam because it is coming from charvak. Charvak is it is a verse. What's that verse? So what's that Bhagavatam verse? I think this is Prahlad Maharaj, he said, yeah. So this is 7.5.30, yeah. Okay. So everybody should remember. Materna Krishna Parata Satova. Yeah. Mithobi Padyeta Graha Vratana Madanta Govir Vishatam Tamishram Puna Charvita Charvananam. You see this Charvita Charvananam? Now this both these words start from Charvita Charvananam. Now, why he is using these two words, Sarvita Charvananam? Sanskrit, there are so many synonyms, but Sukadeva Goswami is a great poet and a great philosopher, by the way, both of them. And he knows this kind of philosophy is coming from Charvak. And that's why he uses his word, Charvita Charvananam, Charvak. Charvak was the name of a philosopher who gave this whole philosophy that that because of the uncontrolled senses, person to materialistic life, make progress to a hellish condition, and repeatedly chew that which has already been chewed. You see that's the point. Charvita Charvanana. Repeatedly chew that has been already chewed. That is how materialistic work, isn't it? They do sense gratification, sex, eating, mating, sleeping, depending, again and again, again and again, again and again, again and again, in various forms, in hotel, in aeroplane, in their home, maybe in the sports complex, eating, mating, sleeping, depending, maybe on the moon. Same thing they'll do in the hope maybe I'll get enjoyment. Yeah, if I don't get enjoyment in hotel, maybe I'll get enjoyment on the moon from the same thing. If I don't get enjoyment in my home, then maybe I'll get enjoyment in the sport complex, in the club. But anyway, you have to do the same thing. So Sukadeva Goswami says, well, okay, fine. What they are doing, you do the same thing for Krishna. Mukta sangai puna puna. He uses the same word, punas Sarvita Charvanam. He says, okay, puna. You also do the same thing again and again. And that's why Chaitanya Charitamrita says, that's why Mahaprabhu says, Hoy Rasasvadan. That's why there says, Charvananam. What's that? I just told Chaitanya Charitamrita, I just forgot. Yeah, Charvanam. He uses the same word there. Yeah, he in Bengali says, Charvan karite hoy rasasvadan. Mahaprabhu Krishna Swami uses the same word, Charvan karite. You do the same thing. You again repeatedly chew, which has been chewed by Mahajans. You chew that same again, and you will get ras. In materialistic life, if you chew the same thing, you'll not get ras. But in spiritual life, if you chew the same thing, you'll get ras. Same chanting, day after day, month after month, life after life. But you get rasa, you know. That's the whole idea there. So spirituality is not something. Actually, you know what Srila Prabhupada said in one of his Zoom conversations. I'm forgetting the reference, but he said, if you want to understand uh, Krishna and spiritual world, you study yourself and the material world. And whatever is going on here, you just flip it and do it for Krishna, and you get perfection. So here, you learn things by association with people. Okay, you then associate with Mukta Sangha, associate with liberated souls. Bring Krishna there. Chaitanya Charitamrita, Ramanand Rai asks Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu asks Ramanand Rai. It was the other way around. Mahaprabhu is saying, Kon dukh hoye, dukh madhyar. Which misery is the greatest misery? Of all miseries, which is the greatest misery? And Ramanand Rai, you know what he said? He said, Krishna bhakt vireh bina dukh nahi dekhi par. It's a beautiful answer. He doesn't say that, okay, what is the greatest misery of all miseries is to forget Krishna. No, he doesn't say that. What is the greatest misery of all miseries is to be in lust, anger, grief. No. He says greatest misery of all miseries is Krishna Bhakt Virehe Bina. Dukh nahi dekhi par. Krishna Bhakt, that uh, that actually that actually feeling separation from devotees is the greatest miseries of all miseries. That's the greatest miseries of all miseries. In other words, so in other words, losing a good association is the greatest miseries of all miseries. Ramanand Rai didn't even say that actually not getting good association is the greatest misery. No, that's of course a misery, but that's not the greatest misery. Losing a good association, that's the greatest misery. That pain is intolerable. Ramchandra Sangamange Narottama Das. You see, what's when Ramchandra Kaviraj, he left this word, Narottama Das Thakur, he was shattered. And he said, that's my greatest misery. So that's what is, hmm, is actually Sangh association. So okay, fine. There you take association, here you take association with devotees. They're reading nonsense stuff again and again, again and again. Here you read Bhagavatam again and again. And Krishna Kaviraj Swami gives the example. So just like you rub chandan wood, and initially there is no smell when you're rubbing, and then if you keep on rubbing chandan, keep on rubbing, then smell comes. Similarly, if you keep on remembering Krishna and his pastimes, his qualities, for that you need practice. Actually, mind will not allow you to remember Krishna's qualities and pastimes. So mind, Hare Krishna. Oh, so mind is not going to allow you to actually remember Krishna's qualities, pastimes, because Prabhupada brings the point of enviousness. We are envious. Mind will revolt, doesn't want to remember Krishna, but that's a practice. You try to remember him while taking bath, while walking, uh, while doing whatever you are doing in your life. Just remember, it's so simple. Simply remember Krishna. That's all. Remember his form. Remember his eyes. Remember his flute. Um, and of course, that's a private affair. And of course, to uh, to keep everything streamlined, you need to have a philosophical background. Otherwise, you'll become a sentimentalist. How to remember in such a way that it gives pleasure to Krishna and not pleasure to ourselves. That's another step there in remembering Krishna. But that's a technique. Simple to the point, but that's whole Krishna consciousness in one line. So that is why he says Mukta Sangai Puna Puna Samstuyate Satkathasu. So this you see the point. Anyway, the whole point is Sukadeva Goswami has finished Mayavad in this verse. As far as his arguments goes, he has finished Mayavad. Whatever Mayavadis have arguments, Mayavadi says, I'm Narayan. Sukadeva Goswami says, no, Narayana Sakshad. See, self-evident. Mayavadi says, no, after sannyas, we become Narayan. Sukadeva Goswami says, no, Narayana Nyasi Nam Gatihi. The goal of sannyas is to give pleasure to Narayan. It's not to become Narayan. So Mayavadi says, no, actually, not actually after sannyas, but after liberation. After sannyas, when you practice and then you become liberated, then you become Narayan. So Deva Swami says, no, Mukta Sangai Puna Puna. Even Mukta, liberated souls are discussing Samstuyate. They are also glorifying Narayan. You don't still become Narayan, by the way. By the way, just in the end, the meaning of this word Narayan is very interesting. And there are many meanings of this word Narayan. Now, the usual meaning is Narayan. Now Nar means water. Ayan means who is situated on the water. So we know Mahavishnu, he is lying on the actually, so on the ocean, so on the Karnataka ocean. the ocean of, as we say, milk. So Shiv Sagar. So he's there. So that's why his name is Narayana. One meaning. Another meaning of Narayana is uh, this is Nar plus Ayana. Now Nar means even people. People. He's a shelter of all people in this material world. That's why it's called Narayana. But as far as Gaudiya Vaishnavas are concerned, gopis sometimes they address Krishna as Narayan, but they don't address Krishna as Narayan in the capacity of God, because sometimes Gopi says to Krishna, well, you're Narayan. We know you're Narayan, but we know what sort of Narayan you are. Sometimes Gopi says, Krishna, you think you're Narayan? We know you're complete nonsense. So they don't want to really accept the fact that it's Narayan. But sometimes they address Krishna. Yeah, Krishna, we know you're Narayan. But there, what's the meaning of Narayan? Narayan means here Nar means people. Now, who are people of Krishna? They are not the people of this material world. Krishna's own people is Vrajvasis. So Nar means Vrajvasis. Ayan means to live, who lives in the heart of his devotees who are Vrajvasis. That's why he's called Narayana. So Narayana, even in Vrindavan, now why I'm bringing this point, because you might think in Vrindavan, maybe nobody's calling Krishna as Narayana, but they call him as Narayana, but the meaning is entirely different of the word Narayana. In Vrindavan, so if you go in Vrindavan and if you speak Narayana, the meaning is very different. And if you come to Vaikuntha and if you speak Narayana, the meaning is very different, although the names are the same. That is how the word Narayana goes. So for us, Narayan, and in fact in Vedas it is said, these four words, Na, Ra, Ya, Na, they are coming from the four Vedas. That's by the explanation of Narayana. Narayana, this name, it has all the essence of all Vedas. Na is coming from Rig Ved, Ra is Sam, Ya is Yajur, and then last Na is from Atharvaved. This is Rupa Goswami says in his Padyavali, this verse. So one other devotee, he says, so then why to read the four Vedas? If all the four Vedas are these four letters of Narayana, then I'll simply chant the words Narayana. And those who want to read Vedas, let them read their Vedas and waste their time. As far as I'm concerned, I'll simply chant the word Narayana and I'll get the benefit of all four Vedas. It's as simple as that. This is the words by Rupa Goswami. That's Narayana. So anyway, yeah, I'll just stop here. There are many, many, many more things to talk in this verse. In fact, I can keep on talking. But I'll just stop here. And if there's any questions, you can ask me. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada. Yeah, I'm done.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavot Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Very, very beautiful class, Prabhuji. Very beautiful. I was trying to put myself where I am in remembering Krishna, and I found out I am nowhere.
Yeah, we are nowhere. That's true. Yeah, remembering Krishna. That's the bottom line there. You see, it's such a mystery. I mean, to say after so many years, it clicked to me. I am not remembering Krishna. It's funny. After so many years, after so many years, you should get a realization that actually you're remembering the intimate pastimes of Krishna. But here we are getting realization we are not remembering Krishna. Illusion works like that. But it's such a simple formula. That's all. That's how it goes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavot Pranam. Thank
Hare
you
Krishna.
for the nice class. Prabhuji, I have a question from the verse 34, Prabhu. Just from in the purport, Prabhupada mentions one aspect, and we keep reading that often.
What's that?
He says that Jnanis, wanted to merge into Brahman effulgence, and Karmis had wanted
Yeah,
to.
yeah. I'm seeing that. Yeah.
So my question is like, why jnanis we are attributing to Brahman effulgence? Like, why are they, characterized or stereotyped like that? And what about the Ashtanga
So
yogis? Like, what is their destination? Who are meditating on Paramatma?
no, Gyanis are typically those who meditate on Brahman effulgence. They are called Gyanis. So what's the question I mean to say? Why are you
So
asking this question?
stereotype like that. Like jnanis, right? They are after knowledge, right? They are after,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. So oh, okay. Gyanis after knowledge.
yeah.
Gyanis want to understand God or whatever. I mean, supreme reality or power. Gyanis would prefer the term supreme reality or supreme power because they're Gyanis, isn't it? So they will. What is Vastavikta? So they want to understand. So but the whole point is they want to understand that supreme reality through anuman, through knowledge, through speculation. And the farthest you can go for understanding reality through logic, anuman means logic, Gyanis are using logic, is the realization of Brahman effulgence, is the realization that God is supreme power which is spread everywhere. And you see, even scientists and modern philosophers, what they conclude, if you ask any modern philosopher, or probably a scientist like Einstein, probably they will, if you ask them who is God. Now, both philosophers and scientists, they are using logic. Philosophers are using basically logic. Scientists are using mathematics, which is again based on logic. So if you ask them, many scientists are of course atheist. Many philosophers are atheists. They will deny any supreme power. But those who are theistic or maybe agnostic conception, you ask them what's the supreme reality or power, they'll say, well, this universal consciousness, isn't it? In America, they say no universal consciousness many times. So or the scientific laws which are governing the universe, this is supreme reality. So this is the maximum extent they can go. And this is Brahman effulgence, which is omniscient, which is everywhere, which is universal consciousness. This is the far you can go by logic. So that's why they reach Brahman effulgence. That's why they are said Jnani's destination is Brahman effulgence. They merge into universal consciousness. And yogis is the same thing. Yogis is Paramatma. And for most of the yogis are uh, their destination is also Brahman. Most of them. But true yogis who focus on Paramatma with the conception that Paramatma is a part and parcel of Narayana, they attain siddhis, and then they advance to the conception of Bhagavan, and then become devotees and go back to God like that.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you, Prabhu. I had this question. And one more thing, in the current verse, Prabhupada translates interesting way. This one, Sat Kathasu, right? He translates as instead of the pastimes of the Lord, Prabhupada is translating as the Kirtan movement, right, Prabhu?
30 Kirtanya. Translating Sat Kathasu as by discussing transcendental vibrations,
And in the
by
translation,
discussing the through the Kirtan movement, Sankirtan movement. Yeah, it's a slight change there. You see the point. Sat Kathasu. Prabhupada has purposefully put Sankirtan movement because traditionally if you go to Vrindavan and Vrindavan, all these caste Goswamis or Kathakars, if they're talking on this verse, then they will say, oh, we should do Katha. And the usual understanding of Katha is, Pandal program and 7 days Katha, isn't it? That Bhagavad Katha.
yes.
So then, see, Sukha Goswami is recommending Katha and you should understand. So Prabhupada said in Vrindavan, and you know all these nonsense crap. So he purposefully translated Katha as Sankirtan movement to bring the real purport of this word. Katha is not just sitting in Pandal program having some music. I mean to say the whole connotation of the word Katha has become, as soon as we hear Katha as Indians, immediately a picture comes. There is a person, there's a music going on, and he's speaking nice verses, and there's Bhagavatam, and people are dancing, and something is going. Isn't it that's our mind like that? So Prabhupada wants to change that because that has become like that, but that's not the literal sense. Literal sense is this: what Sukdev Goswami intended by Katha is that Kathyantascha Mam Nityam, in that spirit of Bhagavad Gita. that you discuss among devotees, or you spread this knowledge outside in this material world to other people, and that's called katha. So I think that's where Prabhupada is changing the meanings of the word, because these words have got connotations.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hmm. Yeah.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, thank you so much for such a beautiful class once again. Hare Krishna, is there devotees having any more questions for Prabhuji?
Yeah. Very,
I have
yeah.
one question. Why Buddhi Yoga? Prabhupada translates Buddhi Yoga as Bhakti Yoga. Right? Buddhi is intelligent.
Oh,
In this, like, just I want to know one or two
no,
reasons.
actually, Srila Prabhupada mentions, Prabhupada says, Buddhi Yoga means intelligence.
Yeah.
Connecting, yoga means connection, Buddhi means intelligence, connecting with Krishna through intelligence. And Prabhupada says, what is real intelligence? Real intelligence is to develop uh, affection for Krishna. Otherwise, it's waste. If you understand everything and if you don't develop affection of Krishna, it's nonsense. It's not intelligence. It is foolishness. So the whole summum bonum of all intelligence is to come to conclusion that we have to develop affection for Krishna, and that is Bhakti Yoga. So real intelligence means Bhakti Yoga. Real Buddhi Yoga is Bhakti Yoga. That's the whole idea.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that-
Real Karma Yoga is again Bhakti Yoga. Okay. Makes sense. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanavad Pranam, Shila Prabhupada ki Jai, Guru
Hare
Maharaj.
Krishna.
Prabhuji, I just wanted to ask you, when we remember Krishna, it's like, you said we have simply remember Krishna group. So in that we are reading and we
Mm,
seen that it's mentioning about Krishna,
mm,
but it's we can imagine, but it's like for like beginner sadhaka, like I'm not like I can only image, not like that, like I'm giving
mm,
example, his cheek are like very glassy,
mm.
like mirror kind of his cheek. So
Okay.
and all the Vrindavan, like gopas, and they were trying to decorate themselves by looking at his cheek, when where
Mm-hmm.
we look at the mirror. So
Mm.
so we can just imagine that, but how can we whole imagine about how he actually looks? Because we uh, we can just, by all of this mentioning, it's we can remember, but how can we put it together?
Yeah, yeah. I can understand the question. Actually, you know what? Uh, at our stage, we have to imagine, because it's not revealed to us. That's what you are asking. I mean to say, it's not. We are not seeing him literally. It's not revealed, so we have to imagine. And this question is raised by Ramanujacharya in his commentaries. Even Srila Prabhupada discusses this in his conversations. But the whole idea is that because imagination is not reality, am I right? Imagination is imagination, isn't it? So that's your question, am I right?
Yeah.
It's not reality. So,
Like we can that means, like, yeah, I haven't seen and I know it's true. There is no doubt about it, but how can you know what I'm asking, but
yeah, yeah, yeah. So the answer is so if you're imagining, then we think that we are in illusion because that's imagination. We are not in reality. So what should we do when we're reading
no,
past tense?
it's
Are
not
we supposed to
illusion,
imagine?
probably. It's not illusion, right? Because Krishna's everything with Krishna is transcendental. How can be
No, no.
illusion?
So no. So that's the point. So that's the anti-argument I'm raising. that people might think they are an illusion. And so we have to come in contact with reality. So then, should we imagine or not? So now here Ramanujacharya says, well, if your imagination is based on scriptures, then that's not illusion. That's the whole idea there. If it is, provided it is based on scriptures, I mean to say, you suppose if you start imagining that on Krishna's cheeks, Srimati Radharani is seeing his cheek, and she is actually combing her hairs. You can imagine like that, and that's possible. But that's not mentioned in scriptures. In scriptures, it's mentioned that the friends were seeing his cheek and they were decorating himself. But but then our imagination takes flight and we connect this with Radha or something else. That is wrong. So that's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur actually raises this point. That is why we have to read scriptures and imagine what is exactly spoken there. We can't imagine anything else. Then you are an illusion, because then you are fantasizing, and then there's no limit for that. But Sukdev Goswami has given this process, this pastime, so that we can imagine. And what will happen by that is our imagination will get linked to Krishna. Just like now our voice is linked to holy names chanting. So imagination gets linked to Krishna. But there's a difference now. Difference between Sahajyas and us is there are very two important differences in imagination. Now they also imagine and we also imagine, but there is a lot of difference. And there are two main differences. Their imagination is according to their own ideas. It's not exactly according to scripture. Just like I was mentioning the example, they have a flight of the imagination and they start imagining everything and anything. So in their mind, they start imagining, oh, Krishna is there and I'm a peacock and I'm playing with him. Or maybe Krishna is there and he's playing with two peacocks. But they never read this. It's never mentioned in scriptures. He didn't play with two peacocks. It's not mentioned. Now they might say, well, Krishna can do anything. If he can play with four, he can play with two. So what's the harm in remembering this? But there is a harm in remembering this because it's not mentioned in scriptures, and because you are imagining, it's not revealed to you. That's the whole idea. So that's the point. Imagination, according to scriptures, is reality. You see, it's very simple to understand. Suppose you're reading a history book. Now, suppose you're reading a history book, and suppose you're reading a war between Greeks and Babylonians. Suppose, okay, fine. So we know in history that Greeks and Babylonians, they were always fighting. So, or for example, this movie Spartans, the Spartans, and so who were the other? So Persians, they were always fighting. Okay, fine. So if you're reading history, now in history there are detailed explanations what happened, that the king came and then he stood on the horse. He was sitting on the horse. One arrow came and he hit him and he fell down. And then enemies came and then they cut off his head and they took him to the palace. Whatever these descriptions. So now suppose you're reading these descriptions and you're imagining, isn't it? You have to imagine that he's sitting on the horse by your own experience and the arrow came and this is this. That's reality, isn't it? So movies are based on history. Now, what do people say? This is a true movie based on true facts. And we like that. So what they're doing in movie, they're imagining. Am I right? Director is imagining. And Hare Krishna.
We can hear you, Prabhuji.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji, we can hear you.
Yeah. So those movies based on the facts of history, and that's why we say this movie is a true movie based on true facts. Everybody likes that. But if the director starts putting something from his own speculation and it's not put in history, and he says, okay, that king actually we went somewhere and he actually took some girls and he raped them, whatever it is. But then people will argue, people will say it's not mentioned in history. Why did you add that? And then people will be really annoyed with him. You are destroying history. You see the point there? So if we imagine what is mentioned in scriptures, Krishna will be happy. Krishna is saying, okay, You are trying to make a true movie in your head. But if you start speculating, then he says, you're destroying my history. You're destroying my. Oh, this is like. So the point is, so they will say, Krishna will not be happy. So that's the difference between Sahajas and us. Sahajas actually don't. They actually imagine anything and everything. But we don't do that. We imagine according to scriptures, and that's okay. That is true history based on facts. There's one difference. Another difference between them and us is they imagine and they feel and they get enjoyment, and then don't do anything. They're simply imagining for their own sense gratification. We are imagining, we are trying to think about all these pastimes in our head, but for what? Not for self enjoyment, but so that we get bliss, and that bliss and enthusiasm we use to serve Krishna. It's not just for our self enjoyment. That's not the goal. The goal is service. So these are two main differences, and then that's okay. And then slowly, when we keep on doing, when we become pure, then Krishna will reveal his real cheek to you, real form. When your head is full of Krishna, his pastimes, his qualities, and when you become pure, it's not just full of Krishna. When your heart becomes pure, otherwise, whatever you remember, it will just wash off after some time. Then Krishna will reveal, okay, here I am. Here I am. You were reading about my history and you were thinking, I am like this, like this, like this. And by that, what will happen is we will get a desire to see him. And that's the third difference between Sahajas and us. Sahajas think that imagination is reality and they're seeing Krishna. We don't say like that. We know we are imagining. But then when we continue to imagine, then we have a desire. What will Krishna's cheek really look like? I have not seen. Imagining, and then and then that desire will actually will become so intense, and then Krishna will show, okay, you want to see me really? Here I am. That's going to happen. It- so is it clear to you? That's what you were asking?
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji, very much. Prabhuji, I have one more question. It's
Hmm.
kind of, I don't know how others will feel, but let me ask you. Um, you know, when it's a true, whatever I'm feeling, I'm just saying that. Okay, so whenever the deities of Krishna, I shouldn't say, but whenever it has to be attractive to my eyes, then it gonna attract me to, like whenever I go to bow down or like see Krishna anywhere, I know it's Krishna and he looks good, but the real thing is it has to look good to me. So I have this question came from my mind that when all the pure devotees, when they see Krishna, their deities, it's not look like very beautiful to my eyes, but still they what they see in their deity, or what when they see Krishna, what they see, like what they think, and what how it is, because as a regular person,
Well,
as a real person, to
no,
me
so
Krishna has to be attractive, and for them
so
deity is not like all the deities is not it's the same, and what they see in the Krishna, what they feel in Krishna, what they have feelings in Krishna, how they do darshan when they see
so
Krishna.
so their feeling is different, your feeling is different. That's what, no?
Yeah, but I want to know what is the different.
What is the difference is
I
difference
know
is
Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena, but I don't have that. But I want to know what they feel when they do darshan of Krishna. Uh, I want to
well,
know.
you see the point. Most of us, whatever we are feeling, we have to understand those feelings are coming from our mind, from our intelligence. But that's okay. That's okay, because they are good feelings. But they're not coming from soul proper, because we don't have a direct experience of Krishna. So this experience is kind of some of shadow, because Krishna is giving by his causeless mercy. Okay, this is what. So everybody has a different feeling, because everybody, you see even in Golok, everybody has a different feeling. Like Sakhas have different feeling when they see Krishna. Brahmaji has a different feeling. Gopis have different feeling, because it's not Mayavad. Everybody will not have same feeling, and that's what is the beauty of devotion. Every individual is different, and everybody will be have different feelings and different. They will be attracted to Krishna in different ways. Some people will be attracted to Krishna because he is heroic. Some people will be attracted to Krishna because he is a simple boy of Braja. Now, the whole point is, it's not that his heroism is more attractive than his simple boyness, or simple boyness is more attractive than heroism. That might be for us, for them, for everything is attractive, but some qualities stand out more attractive than others. Just like for gopis, Krishna's lips or Krishna's eyes are more attractive, but for Krishna's servants like Patri and all these, Krishna's lotus feet are more attractive. But if you ask them, is Krishna's eyes and lips attractive? They'll say, come on, yes. But our focus is there. The question is of focus. Now, focus depends on the feelings of individual living entity, individual consciousness, and their relationship with Krishna. That's focus depends. In our case, in your case, in my case, our focus depends on our own experiences, our own, let me call it as choice, something like that, our own inclinations. That's our focus depends on. So it might be very different for very different people. Some people might be attracted to Krishna's intelligence. What do you say about that? Most people will not be attracted. I am personally attracted towards Krishna's intelligence. When I see Krishna, I think Krishna is very intelligent and very heroic and very brave. But of course, you're attracted to all qualities of Krishna. Why not? So Krishna is all attractive. But that's what makes devotion very dynamic and very interesting for Krishna. That's why Krishna is called Rasik Shekhar, Akhil Rasamrita Murti. He enjoys all flavors. Otherwise, it will become Mayavad, because everybody's having love eyes, eyes imbued with love, and they must feel the same thing. No, that's then we miss the whole point. Then either it becomes Mayavad or it becomes Brahman conception. Everything is same, but that Krishna dislikes. Everything is same, he dislikes. That's why you see many gopis have different moods. And if you see Bhagavatam, many verses are same. So just like this verse, Bharavidam Natvarvapu Karnaya Karnikaram Vibradvasa Kanaka Kapisham Vajayanti Chamalam Randhran Venur, what's that? Randhran Venur, Sudha Payas, something. So this is a description of form of Krishna. Same verses said by Brahma, same verses said by gopis. But the mood is very different. The focus of Brahma is very different, although he is seeing same Krishna. Now, well, Krishna might say, come on, Brahmaji, why your focus? Krishna likes that. Krishna likes variety. That's what Krishna is. And that's why he allows every living entity to approach him by his own free will in different ways. So, what exactly they are feeling, we don't know, but at least we know that everybody will have different feelings. And that's the whole point of Katha. Samstuyate mat kathasu. Why we discuss together. So why we have made simply remember Krishna? Because when we say eyes of Krishna, then some devotees will actually have different perception of Krishna's eyes. Some devotees will have different perception of Krishna's eyes. In fact, if you see Bhagavatam, when Krishna entered the wrestling arena of Kamsa, you read Bhagavatam, every person was seeing Krishna in different forms, different ways. For Kamsa, he was fear personified. For yogis, he was universal consciousness personified. For for Vasudev Devki, he was simply a boy. For gopis, he was a handsome person. For those Chanur Mushtik, for he was actually death personified like that. That is Krishna. Ye tamam prabadyate tam sathe bachami. And you know what? The features which Krishna's features is attracting to you now, it might change with the gradual evolution of consciousness. It might change. We don't know. Things change. And change is the mother of enjoyment. If there's no change, everything becomes boring. And that's why material world changes. Dukhalyam ashashvatam. Ashashvatam means temporary. Ashashvatam also means changing. Because everything is because if nothing is temporary, then things doesn't change. So this temporariness actually helps everything to change, and that makes material world very interesting and very variegatedness. But at the same time, it also makes it actually full of miseries because things are destroyed. In spiritual world, everything is permanent, but yet everything changes, and that makes it very interesting. And that's why it says Navaya Avanam cha. Every time Radha Rani sees Krishna, she asks just one question to Lalita Sakhi: who is this person? Every day. And Lalita Sakhi says, are you joking? Yesterday you know he's Krishna. Now today you are seeing the same person. You're asking who is this? And it's your Krishna. So he says, what happens to you? Are you seriously asking or you're joking? Like so why do you ask this question? So Radha says, well, every day he's changed and I can't recognize him. He has different qualities from previous day. But then how he's different? Because Radha is eternal, he is eternal, and Radha is Krishna and Krishna is Radha. But yet things change and her focus is changing daily. And that is what is devotional all about. That produces rasa. That is the definition of rasa. So that's how it goes. It's good different people feel differently. That gives Krishna enjoyment. Otherwise, Krishna becomes bored. I don't know if it answers your question, but
Thank
that's
you.
how
It
it goes.
helped. It sure helps. So whenever we look at Krishna, we can remember his qualities. His right now qualities that mention. His everything about mention in scripture is okay,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. Yeah, perfectly.
So we should have
Perfectly.
darshan like that, right?
Yeah. That's how you should have darshan. You see him, a flood of his qualities should should actually should actually flood your mind. Qualities after qualities after qualities after qualities, and should keep on changing and different thoughts, and that will actually engross you in Krishna. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it will be just a mechanical darshan. That's all.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji, for engaging us in the Krishna's this service. Remembering Krishna, that topic
Oh yeah,
is
yeah,
very
yeah.
wonderful,
That's good.
and that really help me and
Yeah,
helping
yeah.
others too. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Mhm.
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Prabhuji, see, if I have a baby, and no matter how the baby looks like, it looks beautiful to me, and no matter what little he does, it look like
Yeah.
amazing to me. And so, like sometimes I look at my ditties, and I feel like they are my babies. So I have to do everything for them, and I have to take care of them, and like that, and they always look beautiful. So what do you
Okay.
say about that? Is it that right or
Yeah.
wrong?
That's I would say that's actually much better than thinking complete nonsense things. It's good actually. If you're able to think like that, why not? It's good. It's nice if you can perceive Krishna like that and take care of him. I mean to say it. So actually, it's good in a sense that you're not thinking that Krishna is your parents, because that would have been very detrimental to Krishna consciousness. Because if you look upon they are my parents, and then the whole idea is they have to take care of me. But this kind of mood is in Vallabh Sampradaya, by the way, actually externally, that okay, they are the babies and we have to take care. So in this way, we are offering service to them. You see any mood which actually increases your service attitude, that's good. Now so this seeing Krishna as baby is increasing your service attitude. Okay, good, nice. It is actually anukul, so that's good. But at the same time now, at the same time you have to remember that okay, fine, that's good, but then now you have to advance more, because these are feelings, these are some shadow feelings of true devotion, and now you have to cultivate, you have to advance more. So then of course that will come with time. I mean to say, so we should not think that this is the end. This is not the end. This is nice because it helps you to serve Krishna better and think about him. But then you have to go beyond, when Krishna reveals to you what is your actual relationship with him. This is not your actual relationship with him. This is your interest in serving Krishna. That's very nice. And that's a particular mood there which you have developed by reading our previous lives, whatever it is. But now now we have to get revealed our original relationship with Krishna. What am I with in connection to him? So that's the whole point. So we shouldn't get stuck here, but we should use this to go forward. And then from here, now you go forward. Now you read about Krishna, you understand philosophy, and then you pray to him. Krishna, please reveal to me my relationship with you. Please help me. So and then slowly with time, that's a very big issue which I'm talking. But these 2 points I just wanted to tell you. It's very nice, but it's not the ideal thing. We have to use this mood to advance further and establish a true relationship with God. That's what I can say. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Shamagauri Mataji. And it was very easy to relate, I felt, when you said that word. It's our baby. However it is, we will make them look like great. Oh, my baby, like that. And it was very nice, Mataji. That point I really liked. And Prabhu, thank you. That answer that you gave to Mataji. Until we get to know our real relationship with Krishna, we have to serve and try to be in that mood. Yeah, Prabhu, thank you so much. Very beautiful class and very nice question answer session. Thank you so much. If there are no more questions, we can end the call here. I would like to offer my obeisances to all of you. Vancha kalpatarobhyasya kripa
Hare
sindhu
Krishna. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Vaishnavebhyo namo nama.
Yo
Anant
Namo Namo.
Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai, Srila Prabhupada
Jai.
ki jai. His Grace
Hare
Keshavi
Krishna.
Prabhuji ki jai. Thank you so much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank